This morning's practice of approximately 45 minutes is going to be focused on the practice of Ashtanga. Ashtanga is the personal practice that I turn to. It's a set sequence of poses that usually lasts up to 90 minutes. My intention this morning is to make the Ashtanga practice accessible. We'll start with some grounding. The fish seem to be having a party all around me, so you'll hear lots of splish, splash, splashes. So let's just come to any comfortable seat and close down the eyes. Relaxing through the muscles of the face. Relaxing through the space between your eyebrows. Starting to deepen the breath. Long, slow inhales. Deep and purposeful exhales. Letting go of any predetermined thoughts about your practice this morning. Knowing that just by showing up on your mat, breathing, you are practicing yoga. Continue to breathe in this rhythmic manner. In Ashtanga, we use Ujjayi breath. It's breath with sound, made with a slight constriction of the back of the throat, the glottis. Feel free to start your Ujjayi breath if that's already part of your practice. Mimicking the sound of the ocean. Like the tide coming in and rolling out. Taking 2 more deep breaths. Gently blinking open the eyes. And we'll come up to standing to begin our sun salutation A. If you have your blocks, your toes are going to be touching the blocks. Take a nice deep inhale, roll the shoulders up towards the ears. And as you exhale, allow the shoulder blades to travel down the back, making space between the shoulders and the ears. We have a slight tuck of the tailbone. The legs are fully active. Crown of the head reaching towards the sky, standing tall, straight and strong. Inhale. Exhale. As we inhale, we bring the arms out and up. Bring the hands together in prayer and look up at the thumbs. As you exhale, you're going to make your way all the way down to the ground or to your box by passing your prayer hands down past your nose. Placing the hands down, absolutely bending the knees if that helps you to get here. Releasing the forehead down. As you inhale, straighten up through the legs any amount and raise the crown of the head forward. It might be fingertips on top of the blocks. It might be hands to shins or even to thighs, wherever you need to be to get this nice straight lower back. Now bend at the knees, plant the hands down on the blocks or the ground, and we'll step back to a plank pose. Always the option to lower the knees in your plank pose, ensuring that your thighs remain at a diagonal and releasing the toes. Take an inhale. As you exhale, keeping the elbows in, lower yourself all the way down. Inhale, coming to an upwards facing dog, slightly push off through the toes, threading the heart further much through the hands and rolling yourself up. Curling under the toes, we're going to start to send the hips up and back, coming to our downwards facing dog. If you're tight in the back of the legs, please bend the knees to bring your sit bones high and your back nice and straight. That's the most important thing in our down dog, is nice, long, straight spine. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath, just like that. As you exhale, bend the knees, look towards the front of your mat. This bending of the knees, you want to think about your stomach moving towards your thighs, rather than lowering your knees down towards the mat. Step your feet towards the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. And inhale, circling the arms out and up. Reach up, look up. Exhale, hands down. 2. Inhale, circling the arms out and up, joining the palms, looking up at the thumbs. Exhale, coming all the way down, forward fold. Inhale, as you connect your fingertips to the earth or to the shins, coming to a halfway lift, crown of the head reaching forward, sit bones reaching backwards. Bend the knees, plant the hands, and step back to a plank, high plank or modified plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upwards facing dog. And exhale, downwards facing dog. Inhale, think about sending those sit bones high. Exhale, wrapping the shoulder blades around the back. Inhale. One more breath. As you exhale, bend the knees, look forward, and make your way to the front of the mat. It might be a few little steps. It might be one step with each foot or a jump. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, surrender down. Inhale, circling the arms out and up, look up. Exhale, arms down. Round 3. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift and lengthen. Bend the knees, plant the hands, step back to plank. Take an inhale in your plank. Exhale, lower down. Release the toes. Inhale, upwards facing dog. Exhale, downwards facing dog. Inhale, 1. 2. 3. And on your third exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Make your way to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, unravel the spine, coming all the way up. Exhale, hands down. Now for Sun Salutation B, the toes are going to be together and the heels are slightly apart for chair pose. If it feels better in your body, you can bring your feet hip distance apart. This is a good place to start. There's a lot to think about with chair pose. With our chair pose, let's begin with our hands at heart center, and we're going to bend at the knees, sitting down into our oh so comfortable chair. We want to think about slightly tucking the tailbone under and pushing down through the heels while lifting up through the chest. You're welcome to keep your hands here at your heart center, or you can raise your hands forward, even drawing the prayer hands together, but trying to pull the shoulder blades back. Coming to the front of the mat, bringing the arms behind you to give you some momentum to swing up to your chair pose. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Now bend the knees, plant the hands, and step back to your plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upwards facing dog. Exhale, downwards facing dog. You step the right foot forward in between your hands. The left heel will dial down and you'll bend deeply through the front knee. You'll come up. What you want to have here is an action of your feet pulling each other apart on the mat to give yourself that traction. The hips want to be squared towards the front edge of the mat, and you'll want to consciously push down through the outer edge of the back foot. If this is making you feel wiggly, you can widen your stance. If this feels completely unachievable, you can come up into a high lunge, curling under the back toes. We are only here for the inhale. And as you exhale, the hands come back down towards the mat and the foot steps back. We exhale back down. We inhale up. Exhale, downwards facing dog. Just touching in down dog before we step the left foot forward. Dial the right heel down or choose your variation and inhale up into our warrior one. Exhale, hands come down. Step back to plank. Lower chaturanga. Inhale, upwards facing dog. And exhale, downwards facing dog. Inhaling 1, 2, 3. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward, and step towards the front of the mat. Toes together, heels slightly apart if you chose that foot stance. Inhale as you bend the knees, reach up, chair pose. And exhale as you straighten the legs, bringing the arms down. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, half lift. Bend the knees, plant the hands, and step back to your plank pose. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upwards facing dog. Exhale, downwards facing dog. The right foot steps forwards. Dial the left heel down. Inhale up, warrior 1. Exhale, lowering the hands. Stepping back to plank. Lowering down, chaturanga. Yes, we have lots of chaturangas in our Ashtanga practice. Lifting up, downwards facing dog. Left foot steps forward. Right heel dials down. Inhale, circling the arms out and up. Exhale, lowering the hands down. Stepping back to that plank, taking this time to inhale. Exhale, lower. Inhale, upwards facing dog. Exhale, downwards facing dog. Inhaling 1. 2. Make sure you're not holding any tension in your head or your neck. Your arms should be running alongside the ears. Your head should be relaxed. On your next exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Maybe you want to try a hop, step together, heels slightly apart. Inhale, lengthen the crown of the head forward. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, coming back to chair pose, fierce pose, this one translates to. You can probably feel why. Exhale, standing up straight. That's our sun salutations for today. Bring your hands to your hips and jump your feet hip distance apart. Take an inhale, lengthen up through the spine, crown of the head reaching tall, whilst grounding down through the lower body, using the placement of the hands on the hips to imagine that grounding down. Then as you exhale, you're going to fold forward. Take your yogi grip, which is your peace fingers, and wrap them around your toes. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, straighten your legs to your version of straight. And as you exhale, bend at the elbows to fold forward. You can bend your knees as much as you need to get your fingers around your toes. So even if your belly button is close to your thighs like this, absolutely fine. Just draw the crown of the head down. Make sure those elbows are out wide. The weight is slightly forward into your toes. And just over time, straighten your legs just that tiny bit more. Now you are pulling on your toes to help you to fold forward deeper, but you're not trying to lift the toes off the mat. You're actually pressing your big toe down into your fingers. Deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. One more just like that. Inhale, coming to a half lift. Exhale, bringing the hands to the hips. And inhale, coming all the way up. We're going to take a step back with the right foot. It wants to be about 2.5 to 3 of your own feet distance. You're going to pivot the feet to face the back edge of your mat. So now your right foot is facing directly forward and your left toes are dialed in. If you're using blocks, place the block on the outside of your foot, whichever level that you see fit. Draw the arms out like a T. As you exhale, send the hips back, reach forward, really, really reach. And then bring your hand down, either to the block, either the back of the hand to the inside of the shin, and raise your top arm up towards the sky. You want to think about this top body rolling open towards the sky. You can imagine that you're doing this pose against a wall, so lean back into that wall. Everything in one nice straight long line. If you've got this hand here, you'll use that as traction to open up the top arm. If you're using a block, that's really helpful to help you think about having this one arm stacked on top of the other. Now the breath will change here. Feel how the breath changes in the body. As you inhale, let's have a slight bend through the front knee, push through the foot and come all the way up, bringing your block with you. Change the block to the other hand, switch the feet. Left foot is now straight, right toes dialed slightly in. Inhale. Exhale, reaching all the way forward, placing the block down if you're using your block, reaching the arm up. Your gaze in your triangle pose either wants to be up at your top hand or down at your toes. Inhale, coming up, and exhale, stepping to the front of your mat. Hands at the hips, take a nice wide stance this time, turning the right toes to be straight, toes in line with heels. Back foot is parallel towards the back edge of the mat, which was the front edge of our mat. Bend deeply through the front knee. We're coming for our extended side angle pose. So hips are nice and open. Hip is externally rotating, so we don't want the knee falling in. Place the forearm down onto the thigh. Really rolling this hip open. Inhale, arm over. Inhale, windmilling the arms out, switching the feet, and exhaling, coming to our extended side angle on the opposite side. Reminding ourselves of our slow, rhythmic breathing. From this pose, we're going to straighten up, facing the long edge of our mat, and bringing our toes in line with our heels. Bring the hands to the hips, once again anchoring the lower body down, lifting the upper body out and up, like imagining that our torso is a telescope. Inhale. And as you exhale, send your sit bones back and reach the crown of your head forward, coming just halfway. Inhale here. And as you exhale, keep surrendering down, forehead down towards the earth. Option to keep the hands here on the hips or bring your fingertips down, perhaps using your blocks, placing them underneath your shoulders. Just trying to aim for the toes and the fingers to be in one nice straight line. Think about those elbows drawing back, that bend at the elbows, helping you to direct the crown of your head down towards the ground. Our next inhale will bring us to a half lift, so that might be up onto the fingertips. Our exhale, bring our hands back to our hips if they weren't there already, and as we inhale, we lengthen all the way up. Exhale, step towards the front of your mat. Staying at the front of your mat, preparing for your tree pose. See how our balance is doing this morning. Please remove any judgment from how much you wiggle and fall around your living room. If you don't have a regular yoga practice, or you're not a gymnast, or there's not many times that we stand around on one leg. So this is a yoga practice for that reason. We are practicing standing on one leg. We'll start with the right foot, and we'll bring the right foot into tree. If your balance is feeling steady, you might like to place your foot onto your inner shin or your inner thigh. This is tree pose. You are opening through the hip, you're standing nice and tall. So wherever you are, think about drawing that knee backwards. Let's bring the hands to heart center. Tuning into the sensation of all the little muscles of the standing ankle working to keep you steady, especially if you're on a moving dog. Find a point of focus. Find a point of focus and reconnect your breath, because your breath is really the tool that's going to keep you steady in the pose. Try to stay where you are for 5 deep breaths. If you fall out, I encourage you to take a breath before you come back up into the pose, regaining that focus. Should have mentioned that if you have a nice squishy mat, it can be brilliant for supporting your joints, but not so brilliant for balance, so you might try stepping off the mat. Let's see how we do on the left side. Coming into tree, one variation of tree, and choosing the same option that you chose on the other side. And release. Brilliant. I can see you all. You looked amazing. Let's come back to the front of the mat for a vinyasa. So the feet hip distance. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, circle the arms out and up. Exhale, surrender and fold. Inhale, half lift. Draw the belly button in towards the spine. Bend the knees, plant the hands, and step back to plank pose. lower down, chaturanga, with an exhale. Inhale, upwards facing dog. Exhale, downwards facing dog. Bend your knees. Do a little hop. However little, however big. And bring yourself to sit on your bum. We're going to come to Dandasana, our first seated pose in the Ashtanga series. Now, it might look like we are just sitting, but we're not just sitting. Everything is working here. You want the legs really activated, the feet flexed, toes pointing up towards the sky, shoulder blades rolling down the back. And your option here is to place your hands down by your sides to help you get that length in your spine. Or if you're feeling fine just here, bring your hands to heart center. Four more deep breaths. Inhale, lengthen up through the spine. And as you exhale, fold forward. But let's not directly go like this to try to get our nose towards our knees. Let's think about creating length in the spine with a lovely big inhale. And as you exhale, thinking about getting your belly over your thighs, aiming your chin more towards your toes. You might take hold of the outside of your feet. That is unachievable for many people. So I would then suggest that you bring your backs of your hands down so that you're not pulling on anything. Inhale, length into the spine, and exhale, folding forward. Two more deep breaths. A slight bend in the knees here in this pose if you're tight in the back of the legs. Completely acceptable. Inhale brings you out of the pose. Let's place the hands down underneath the shoulders behind the hips with the fingertips facing forward. We'll bend at the knees. We'll push down through all the corners of the feet as we lift the hips up into reverse tabletop pose. Lift those hips as high as you can. Exhale, lower down. Cross at your ankles. Rock yourself forward, plant your hands, and step yourself back to plank pose. Remember, always option for modified plank. And you might have been planking like a king the whole way through, but now your body's got a little bit tired, so it's good to come to this option. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, upwards facing dog. Exhale, downwards facing dog. Bend at the knees. Take that little hop and come to sit on your bum. You're going to bend the right leg and bring the heel all the way up there into the groin. The left foot will be flexed, the left leg is active, and turn your belly button to face the long leg. Inhale, lengthen. Ooh. If this knee is really up here high and you have blocks, place it down, helping you to get more opening in the hip. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale as you surrender forward. Inhaling, length into the spine. Exhale, surrendering. Inhale, coming out. Exhale, switch the legs. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, surrender forward. Inhale, coming up. We'll come to boat pose now. Excuse me while I swivel. This beautiful sun is directly in my face. We're going to place the feet on the floor and lean back until you find that tripod of your sit bones and your tailbone. It's the moment where your core might begin to shake because we've switched it on. You can place your hands underneath your shoulders and raise your legs up to a 90-degree angle, or you can bring your hands alongside your body. We want to lean back, trying to bring the head in line with the spine. Staying here, inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you exhale, fold the legs, lean forward. Bring it back up. Round 2, boat pose. And if you're feeling strong here, try straightening the legs, looking past the toes. For 5, 4, 3, 2. Can you lift higher for 1? And exhale. If you can remember which ankle you crossed on top, cross the other one and lean forward. We'll bring ourselves onto our backs for a bridge pose. Bend at your knees, soles of the feet flat to the floor, so close to your bum that you could graze your fingertips onto your heels. You're going to tuck your shoulder blades under your back and interlace your fingers. You want to squeeze the palms into one another as much as you can and press the little finger side of your hands down into the earth to help you to elevate your hips high. As you exhale, unravel the shoulders and starting from the top of the back, roll yourself all the way down. Pressing your lower back down into the earth. Releasing your legs out long. Palms facing up towards the sky to receive all that amazing energy that we've cultivated in our practice this morning. Feel the heart rate slowing down. Make sure you're not holding on to any tension in any areas of the body or the mind. This is your moment to be still. There's nowhere else you need to be right now. Nothing that you need to think about right now. Just allowing yourself to be here. Just you, your outline on this yoga mat. Slowly bringing your body back into the present moment by wiggling the fingers and the toes. Turning your head from side to side to wake up the neck. Next time your face comes towards the right, turn your whole body over to the right into fetal position. In our yoga practice, the Shavasana two corpse pose, Shavasana into fetal position, reminds us that every day, every yoga practice, we have the chance to be born again, to live the life that you want to live, to be the person that you want to be. Slowly bring yourself up to seated. Keeping the eyes closed and taking a moment to feel your surroundings. To feel into you. How do you feel? Drawing your hands to heart center. Take a deep inhale. Exhale. Take an even deeper inhale. Exhale. I'm going to chant one round of Om. Feel free to join in or just listen to the universal sound. Inhale. Raising the prayer hands towards the third eye, the center of our being. Exhale. Bow down. Namaste. Thank you for allowing me to guide you through your practice today. Have a wonderful day.